How's it going, everyone? And these are the 5 dumbest things we all do while riding. So number 1, probably the most obvious, is just speeding, right? Now when I say that, I don't mean, so there's a big difference between like complete reckless endangerment and you're just like a fool, like just an idiot, and then just having a little fun and going a little bit fast, right? So I have a very interesting relationship with speeding in my riding career. When I first started riding, I was way on the reckless endangerment side, not because the speeds were so much different than how I ride right now. It's because my lack of skill and judgment was so bad and so lacking. I put myself in really stupid situations. I had no idea how to slow down, so going the speeds that I was going was really dumb because I couldn't slow the bike down, didn't know how to use the brakes, didn't care. I believed that, you know, loud pipe saves lives. I put a full exhaust on my CBR 1000, and that was my first bike, which was really stupid, just really dumb, and just going way faster. I used to just go really fast, like on the highways I'd go, you know, 100+ miles per hour almost everywhere on the highway, just because it's fun. It's addicting, right? Bikes are fast. So now, if I'm just by myself cruising around, I go like 75 and 80. Like, that's just like my cruising around speed, right? And like I said, there's a time and place for everything. So if you're just speeding everywhere just to speed, just because you're speeding everywhere, that's not too smart. Like here in the neighborhood where I am in Pacific Beach, like I don't go speeding around these roads, right? And there's people everywhere, there's scooters, there's cars, there's bicyclists, this is not the time nor the place to go hot rodding around or flying around, speeding around. It just doesn't make sense, and it's stupid. It's in the neighborhood. Now if I'm out in the twisties on a Wednesday morning and there's no one around, there's no traffic, and I want to have a little fun, you know, twisting the throttle, feeling that speed coming out of the corners and get up, you know, okay, that's my risk to take. Some people say I never speed anywhere. To those people who sent me emails and everything else, you're literally one out of a million people or whatever. I literally do not know anybody, no one. I know no one who only rides around at the speed limit everywhere they go. I don't know anybody who does that on a motorcycle or in a car. So I think that's just a way for people to jump on their moral high horse and just like to point at people like, oh, you're speeding, you're bad, like as if everybody doesn't do it. It's like swearing. I don't know anybody who doesn't swear either, but anyway. Speeding, right? So reckless endangerment and having a little fun, there's a difference between those two, but either way it's your risk to take, and whatever speeds I go, it's my risk to take. And I've only gotten 1 speeding ticket my whole entire motorcycle riding career, and I've had maybe 2 speeding tickets in my entire life on a car, and that was 10+ years ago. So you're a risk to take, do whatever you want to do, but there is a difference between just riding around everywhere and going fast, you know, 150 miles per hour on the highway, which is just, you're just stupid. And there's a difference between that and then just having a little fun, you know, going a little bit faster out in the twisties. But if you're trying to do and going fast like around here in a neighborhood where there's people and scooters and bicyclists around, you're just making everybody look bad, and that's not the time nor the place, right? So that's number 1. Probably the most obvious thing. Number 2, let's see if I could do it here, if the timing will work out. So number 2, which is I think is a really dumb thing to do. Now I used to do this every single stoplight. So first, it's like a 2-part thing. So number 1, I'm gonna do what's wrong. So number 1, I stop directly behind the car, right? So I have no escape route, and I just put the bike in neutral. Now, why is putting the bike in neutral, why I think that's a dumb thing? So I used to do that all the time. Every single light, I can't wait to put the bike in neutral. I was the fastest put the bike in neutral person in the world. I was like, you know, people like in the old Western movies are like the fastest gun. I was the fastest neutral. No one could beat me putting the bike in neutral. It was like a game of how I bet you I could get my bike in neutral even before the bike stopped. So there you go, I'm in neutral. And I used to be proud of the fact like I'm in neutral. I'm like, hell yeah, look at that, I'm already in neutral, huh? So I used to do that all the time until I was put in a situation where the car behind me wasn't stopping and I had to get the hell out of the way very quickly. And the extra time and panic to try to figure out what to do, pull the clutch and get in it first, and then try to figure out your escape route, and then actually go there with trying to take off fast without stalling the bike, that's a lot to do in 1 second. So I realized okay, I just need to leave my bike in gear. I'd rather just be prepared. And then all the comments and people and email me, you're wearing out the clutch faster by keeping it in gear, put the bike, all this stupidity, right? So first of all, if you say anything like that, like you're gonna wear out the clutch faster, how about you just not ride your motorcycle to make the tires last longer while you're at it? That's just stupid. I go through probably 4 sets of tires a year because I ride the bike like 3,000 miles a month. I'm not worried about a little bit extra wear, even if it does it, and I just don't care. If you really care about saving money and your clutch wear and making it last forever, you should probably just sell your motorcycle and save money that way, and just never just sell it. That doesn't make any sense to me. What was I talking about? Yeah, okay. So yeah, leave the bike in gear, have an escape route, be prepared to what you want to do. And this has saved my life twice. After that first time when I was actually neutral, I don't do it anymore. Leave the bike in gear, I'm ready to go. And there's been times, no kidding, recently within the last year, I'm no kidding, at a stoplight just like this, and I'm like, man, that car isn't stopping. No kidding, right? They're just slamming on their brakes, and I had to go. That's happened twice now where people weren't stopping, and then luckily I was in gear. So one time the guy was coming up behind me, that has happened. Another time this guy was making a turn or doing a U-turn, some kind of crazy illegal whatever the hell he was doing, and he also like wanted to come in the lane to make it go and turn into this driveway thing. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but good thing I was in gear to get the hell out of the way as well. So that happened to me twice within the last year. This happened to me other times before, but I recommend keep the bike in gear. If you're worried about clutch wear or whatever the hell BS you could make up, then just sell your bike, because that's just stupid. Next, on the 5 dumbest things we all do while riding. So we have speeding, putting your bike in neutral at stoplights, I think is dumb. And what's another thing? Not using your blinkers. So this is something that has caused a lot of comments and debates among people. Like I always see memes of like, if you think you're worthless, just think about the people who install blinkers on BMWs, right? Just making fun of, like, I guess every BMW driver doesn't ever use their blinkers. So it's just it's funny. Like, that stuff is just funny, but there's some kind of truth to some of it. But either way, we're very guilty of that on motorcyclists, because like if I'm going down the highway and there's 2 lanes right here and I just want to go right here to where I am to that lane, like in a car it's a big movement. You're using your whole car is going here and you go way over there. It's a big movement. But for me to go from right here to that side of the white line to put on the blinker, it's like, whatever, who cares, just go over there. But it does a lot of things. So number one, it makes all of us look stupid, like we're just privileged people on motorcycles, like we're better than everybody, which makes us all, it destroys the relationship between us and other cars. And it's not doing you any favors. We're already the smallest things in traffic. Like, we want to make ourselves as visible as possible. That's why I have a white helmet. That's why I have these stupid bright clear water lights with the yellow covers. And once I put the yellow covers on these lights, dude, like, people actually got out of the way. They do not pull out in front of me anymore. So ever since I put those yellow covers on there, I have not had one circumstance where someone was thinking about pulling out in front of me and they actually did pull out in front of me with these yellow lights. They're really bright. So if you want to do anything to improve your visibility in traffic, get a white helmet, because that's the tallest thing. It's the highest thing on the motorcycle is your helmet. So, right, get a white helmet or a bright colored helmet, and then get some aftermarket lights. Those 2 things is what I actually recommend. Anyway, yeah, so since we're the smallest in traffic, give yourself a couple blinks. Use your blinkers, and you want to be predictable in traffic. It lets other traffic know what you're doing, what you're going to be doing, and you're just very predictable. You're not just erratic, because that's how accidents happen. Is that guy making a lane change? Is he not going to make a lane change? Is he following behind me? What is he doing? Right? But if you just use your blinkers all the time, everywhere you go, well, you're very predictable. People can see you better because you have a flashing light, which gives people attention, right? Just remember to turn it off, because a lot of motorcycles don't have self-canceling blinkers. I think this bike does, but not many bikes have that. So remember to turn the thing off, because it was a good thing that you're doing, right? You're using the blinker, but then it becomes now it just becomes bad very quickly, because now you always have the blinker on. So now all the cars, just think about if I'm a motorcycle, if I'm in a car and there's a motorcycle right there and it's like his blinker is always on. So all I'm doing is wondering, is that guy going to make a lane change? Is he going to turn? Is he not going to turn? Like, whenever you create confusion or doubt or whatever to the person or anybody around you, That's how things happen very quickly that are very bad. And then, oh, I didn't know I had the blinker on, but I just went to go make a lane change. But then people complain like, oh, this guy pulled out in front of me, this, that. It's just to avoid all that stuff, use your blinker, like I just turned mine on right there, and turn off your blinker. So obviously I'm in a turning lane, I could only go left, so why use my blinker, right? It's not for me, I obviously know what I'm doing, but I turn on my blinker so it's a flashing light, so this car behind me, if they're not paying attention, or if I kind of blend into the color of what he's looking at through his windscreen behind me in that 4Runner, at least he sees a blinking light, which may give him attention, like, oh, there's a bike there, it's not just a blended color of crap in front of me. So there you go, use your blinkers and turn off your blinkers. So we have number 1, speeding. Number 2, putting your bike in neutral. Like, as you can see, I'm in first gear, ready to go. I have an escape route. If I really needed to, I could go in between these two cars. I know I could fit. If something were to happen, I'm ready to go. Right? Keep your bike in first gear at stop lights, and then use your blinkers. So next one is also very common. So I'll kind of demonstrate this once I take this left, and I'm going away from the beach now. This is Belmont Park here in Pacific Beach. There's literally a roller coaster on the beach. And there's like a little fair that goes on like 24 hours a day in this area. There's like arcade games and bumper cars and rock climbing and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty awesome that I live here. But anyway, so, and that's another thing about my channel, and like everything I do is like, I'm not trying to be some kind of hypocrite. I never said wear bubble wrap everywhere you go and ride around at the speed limit. I just want people to be able to ride better and make better choices and think about the why behind the choices, and what's the purpose of this, and how will it affect you, and how will it make you a better rider by doing this versus that, etc., etc. Like, for example, like my sleeve on my jacket, I didn't Velcro it down really good, so it's kind of blowing. So look at, put the bike on cruise control for a second, tighten it up, and then go right back down. Now, is that dangerous? Is that a stupid thing to do? I don't know. There's no one behind me. I'm going at a slow pace. There's not much traffic. So for me, it's worth the risk. For you, if that's not worth the risk to do that, well, then don't do it. You know, you're in control of your life. Anyway, so like right now, like if I'm just downshifting, right, and I don't actually pick up a little bit of brake pressure to turn my brake light on, that's the 4th dumbest thing that we all do, is we don't use our brakes to get the brake light to come on to let people know that we're braking. So there's a really interesting concept about depth perception. So if we don't use our brake light, it's actually hard for the people behind us to know that we're stopping, because we're just coming right at them, right? So we need a light to let people know that we're braking. So if you're only rolling off the throttle and not actually using, even if you don't think you need the brakes, just use 1%, front brake, rear brake, who cares, just to turn your brake light on, because you want to let people know behind you. Because a lot of the times we don't have to use the brake. So for example, right, I'm in 4th gear, I'm going 60 miles per hour, so I'm going to get off right here at, what is it, SeaWorld Drive. I'm going to get off. So if there's a bunch of cars behind me, right, so right here, use the blinker. So if there's cars behind me right now, I don't have to brake, right? Just roll off the throttle, downshift, I'm slowing down, no problem, whatever. But if the car behind me is coming up fast or whatever, they don't know that I'm actually braking. They're probably assuming it, but I don't like to rely on people's assumptions to do or not do something. So even if you don't think you need the brakes, maybe just flash them a couple times, just go on and off with your foot a couple times to let people know, hey, I'm slowing down. Just let people know what you're doing. That's what I recommend doing. Use enough brakes to let people know. Otherwise, so just engine braking alone and not doing that, that's another dumb thing that we do, because I see that happen a lot. I'm behind a bike and I can see them just downshifting, and I understand what they're doing. But if I was somebody else, like in a car, and didn't understand motorcycles, I would be thinking like we're all going 70, and then all of a sudden the bike's slowing down very fast, but no brake light came on. It's a good reason to get yourself rear-ended. So you just try to minimize any opportunity you have to get into an accident. And if you could do something different, well, why would you not do that? All right, and the last thing that we all do that's dumb is follow too closely. So I'm going to show you. So let's say there's a car right here, and I'm like, man, I want to go around the car. This car is like 1 mile per hour faster than the fake car right here. So I'm just waiting for this car to go up a little bit, so I follow too closely, and then I just switch lanes at the last second just to go around them. So that's something that I do a lot of. And again, there's 2 extremes of all this stuff. The one extreme is you're like actually tailgating the person, like for real, like you're like right up on their butt for no reason. And there's another situation to where you're just behind somebody just so you could be closer to get around somebody, right? So if maybe you're a little bit impatient or whatever else. Or now let's take it as the other way to look at it. So I'm following right behind somebody, I'm tailgating them, but whenever I do it, like whenever I'm close to somebody, so say there's a car right in front of me, I'm always in a position where I could immediately go right next to them and go around them or into the other lane. Even if there's a car there, I could just lane split if they happen to slam on their brakes. I always have an escape route no matter what the hell I'm doing. For example, this car just pulled out, he's going like 20 miles per hour. Like, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Yeah, I don't know, they're still going 20 miles per hour. That's kind of dangerous, right? So if I wanted to go around them, I'm always having an escape route. What I'm not doing is riding dead center behind the car in front of me and tailgating them. Because now if something happens, I have to do like an actual movement to swerve and get the hell out of the way. And now you're just setting yourself up for failure big time, right? At least have an escape route. So keep in mind all the 5 things. So speeding, I'm trying to look at my notes right here in the sunlight. Speeding, following too close, not losing your blinkers, putting your bike in neutral at stoplights, and not flashing your brakes or using your brakes to let people know behind you that you're slowing down. All these things could be done in a way that, you know, it's not too bad. It kind of makes sense, and there's a time and place for everything. And they also all could be done at the other end of the spectrum, to where it's like you're just an idiot. You're just a reckless, you just don't care about anybody. You don't care about yourself, you don't care about anybody else, and you're just reckless. And you're probably gonna crash a lot. You already have crashed a lot, or you're going to crash very soon. And we all know people, even on YouTube, people that make motorcycle riding videos. We all know people that crashed, you know, 5 bikes in 2 years, and they just keep on buying the same 1000cc sport bike and keep on doing the same damn stupid things, making everybody look bad. So you have your choice about what kind of rider you want to be. My whole thing has been the same since I started my channel back in 2018. And then since I started making videos, I didn't have any social media up until then. So June 2018, I started my YouTube channel. Since then, you know, all my books and my app and all this crap, right? But my vision has not changed, and it's always been my same vision even before I created this YouTube channel. Because I've been a motorcycle instructor up until recently when I just retired from that. But for teaching, I've been teaching for like 8 years straight. So my whole thing was, I just want to inspire people, either while I'm teaching formal classes like in person. I want to inspire all these riders to wear gear, take courses, and practice, so you can have more fun and crash less. And if you do happen to go down, at least you're wearing full quality gear. The damage will be minimal. So since I transferred my knowledge into motorcycle videos, so now more people can get the knowledge, my vision remains the same. That's the only reason why I do anything that I do with all this stuff. And the amount of people that are already doing it, it's not like I have a goal one day in the future this may happen. It's been happening ever since before I created my YouTube channel. And that's the best thing, that's the best reason and the best motivation why I keep on doing what I'm doing. The amount of emails and people telling me, I just signed up for this course, I just took this course, I'm out practicing your MotoJitsu drills with my buddy, I just bought a full face helmet for my first time ever because I listened to your videos. I just bought a jacket. I just signed up for American Super Camp, and I was gonna take that money and go buy an exhaust because I thought it would make me safer, which is just stupid. It won't. But I want to actually learn how to ride better because you talk about these courses so much, and I get a discount with a lot of the courses. So I decided to upgrade my software, which is my skill, and not worry about the bike or some piece of the bike or part of the bike or whatever, right? So that has been absolutely amazing, seeing the amount of people that are all doing those things, and that's the reason why I keep on doing what I'm doing. But yeah, wear full gear, take more courses, get out there and practice. And like I've said before, so like for example, what's the best way to go over a 2x4? Well, don't just go around it, right? So the whole idea is to use your judgment before your skills. The best riders on the street don't have to stop as fast as they possibly can because a car pull out in front of them, because they're already predicted that might happen. If you're a really good street rider, you won't have to swerve dramatically and freak yourself out of the ladder that's right in the middle of the highway because you saw something early enough and just switch lanes. Really good street riders aren't, you know, gonna have to figure out how to bunny hop or jump over a boat that fell out of the back of a guy's truck on the street, because they're not following behind somebody in the first place that may have the possibility that something may fall out of the back of a truck. So you see what I'm saying? So use your judgment before your skill. And the total control program, that's like a little quote of what they say in their program. The best riders use their judgment before the skill. That's what the really, really good riders do. And then if you have to use your skill, you practice so much, it's all muscle memory where you don't have to think about it, because that's the flip side of the coin. You could be a really, really good rider, but have terrible judgment, you're probably going to kill yourself, right? Or you could have the best judgment in the world, you're always making really smart decisions and placing yourself in really good spots on the street and very aware of your surroundings. All that stuff is good, but you don't have actually any skill. You don't know how to counter steer, you don't know how to swerve, you don't practice emergency braking. You're just as dangerous or even more dangerous as the other guy, because you don't know what to do when something happens. The amount of people that are overconfident and incompetent at the same time is astounding. I meet up with people that have been riding forever and they think that means something. I've been riding 30 years, so that automatically means I'm really good. Okay, let's just see how fast you can stop at 20 miles per hour. Let's see what your distance is. And it winds up taking like 25 feet. So what good is that 20 years experience when you can't even stop your motorcycle quickly? Like, dude, you're setting yourself up for failure. Or I ask people, when was the last time you tried stopping as fast as you absolutely can and practiced at like 40 miles per hour? And literally 9.9 out of 10 people say never. And I'm like, dude, don't ride behind me. And I highly recommend you do that, because you're gonna crash. When something pulls out in front of you, you don't know what that feels like, you don't know the technique, you don't know how to do it, you don't know how actually long it takes you to stop. You're setting yourself up for failure, and it's really, really dumb. And the amount of crashes that could simply be prevented if you only do one thing forever. If you only do this one thing forever, I guarantee if every single rider in the world only did this one thing, it will save you so much heartache and you'll gain so much confidence, and your chances of crashing will go down dramatically. This one thing only is emergency braking. The better you get with the brakes, the better you get everywhere. Nobody has an acceleration problem, you have a braking problem. If you have no confidence stopping your bike, you'll have no confidence to go a little bit faster if that's what you want to do. You'll have no confidence going on the highway if you're a new rider, if you don't know how to slow the bike down, which makes sense. Why would I go on the highway around all these cars going 80 miles per hour when I never practice braking? I don't know how fast I can slow down. I don't know how good my brakes work, because you don't practice. I agree, that would be scary, and I also wouldn't go on the highway. So if you do one thing, it's emergency braking. Just practice stopping at 20 miles per hour as fast as you can 5 times, then 25 miles per hour 5 times, and then go up to 30 miles per hour and stop as fast as you can 5 times. You do that 2 or 3 times a week, you'll be a completely different rider in a month. I promise you. So anyway, alright everybody, thanks for watching. If you have any more things that you notice that pretty much all riders do that are pretty dumb, go ahead and comment below. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, because I've been releasing a bunch of videos lately and I don't want you to miss out on anything, so that way you'll always be notified whenever I post a new video. Thanks for watching, and I will chat with you guys later.